All right, everybody, it's us again. Kapow 2012, 1 year later. We've been here all weekend, checking out how it's changed since last year. It's been a great weekend. We've spoken to lots of interesting people. We've been making a little documentary. So I'm not going to waste any time. Just check out our interviews and enjoy. All right, Mr. Who, again.
How's it going?
It's going fine. 1 year later, here we are at Kapow. What's that you've got in your hands?
We've got Mr. Who, the number 2, Karma's Warrior, and it's the number 2 edition. I'm really excited to get this out for the fans, and it's been flying off. It's been brilliant this weekend.
How hot off the press is that?
Brand spanking new. Tayo got this here. He's sweating, driving down the motorway straight from the printers. He arrived yesterday afternoon. And it's been great. I'm glad we got it here because it was touch and go as to whether it was going to be here for this weekend, but I'm glad we got it.
Okay, so are we going to have to wait another year for number 3?
No, you're not going to wait another year. We can only apologise to fans. If you've been checking out our website, mrwho.co.uk, there's been the animation going on. We've been developing that.
Right.
We've been getting our money together, raising the money. Being an independent comic seller isn't easy.
I know, it's hard.
It's hard, but, we're persevering. And luckily, thanks to you lot, we're making the money and we'll still keep going. But next one's going to be ready in about 3-4 months.
Okay, we're going to be watching you.
I know.
Okay.
You're always hounding me. You're always hounding me for the next one.
So how's Kapow for you this year? How's the convention? How are you finding it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's second year here, feeling like we're starting to get comfortable in the place. Last year was unbelievable, meeting Mark Miller, and this year, got to see Noel Clarke, Jonathan Ross. So it's been another good show.
Did you step into the ring?
Some of those guys in the ring, man, some of the stuff they're getting on with, the throws and all sorts. No, I'll leave that to Mr. Who to get in the ring, man, not me. I ain't a fighter.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, definitely.
Or before then?
Or before then.
Just how much is that?
This is a $5 when you come and see us here at any event, wherever we are. Or you can get it via our website, and it's $6.50 via our website because of postal costs.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. Sorry about that.
That's
you know what I mean? It's got to be paid for.
Okay. All right, wicked. Thank you very much.
Nice one.
Hey.
Cheers.
Simon.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going very well. How's it going for you?
Good, yeah.
So, Nobrow Publishing.
Yes. So we are a London-based publisher who put out comics and kids books and illustration books. And we kind of pride ourselves on the beautiful quality of the books that we produce, really nice inks and paper, and very high production and design values. Yeah.
So I see. How's the convention going for you?
Fine. This is the first time we've really done this kind of convention, and we're trying to promote what we do to a new audience for our kind of stuff. And it's been going pretty well. People really love the books. You get a lot of good comments as people wander past. Yeah.
Okay. So out of all the stuff that you're selling here today and you've got on your catalogue, first of all, what's selling the best? And if I was going to pick out one thing, what would it be?
Well, the Hilda books do very well for us. Luke Pearson, who's the guy that does those, he's from Oxford originally. He's a young guy who is incredibly talented, really a person to watch. They're kind of all ages, but essentially kids for kids, but like adults could easily enjoy them as well. It's a series that he's going to continue to do, but people love those. Yeah, they're really funny, beautiful books. Bit kind of like Moomins in style meets Hayao Miyazaki, but yeah, they're really good. Personally, one of my very favourite books that we put out is this one, Forming, by an American cartoonist called Jesse Moynihan, who writes for Adventure Time, the cartoon. And it's a webcomic that he did that we then published a hardcover collection of. That is, it's hilarious, it's bizarre. It's like superheroes meets mythology, but they all talk like hipsters. It's very funny, yeah.
Okay.
So that would be that's my one guy. But these are also beautiful. But the whole slate of stuff we do is worth reading, definitely, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll certainly look out for it. Thank you very much for your time, as always. Ladies and gents.
Thank you very much.
It's like the first screening of Electric Man.
It's the first screening in London,
right.
So it's a London premiere, which is very exciting, at the Prince Charles Cinema in Leicester Square.
It's a great venue for the first one down here, isn't it? Brilliant.
Really exciting.
How are you finding the convention today?
It's wicked. One thing, because we came here last year, and it was a really great. It's the first time I'd ever been to like a comic convention. So this time, I'm sort of a little bit more used to it. But still, there's so many cool people like sort of dressed up in all different costumes and all the different stalls. It's quite fun just to have a wander around and see what's available.
Do you read comics?
More so now, actually. I've got to say, since Electric Man and since we've been coming to these sort of places, got more and more into it. The world has sucked us in.
What have you been reading?
I'm a bit of an X-Men fan. I mean, don't ask me any questions on it. I'm not that good. but no.
Would you just look at the pictures?
Yeah, the colours. Great.
Colours, pictures.
And yourself?
My brother quite likes comics, and so he got me into it when I was a bit younger. So I quite like. I thought Batman was pretty cool. But now, because of the huge sort of influx of the Hollywood movies, I saw the Avengers Assemble last weekend. Wicked. So if I was going to start reading any of those, I think I'd probably go for Iron Man. I think. I do like Robert Downey Jr. as well. He's pretty cool. So I like the Iron Man characters. I like international playboy superhero.
Could you imagine yourself as Iron Man?
I do have the ego for it. Yes. So yes, I think I'm pretty good. I like either Iron Man or Spider-Man. Yeah, I'd love to be Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man pretty cool. Yeah, I think I'd go for that.
Not so much with the Iron Man.
What? Not yet. Not yet. Maybe a bit older.
So are we likely to see a sequel to Electric Man?
No, that would be awesome.
It would be fantastic.
Yeah.
There's been such a good reaction to the whole film that people have been really taking it into their hearts. So we're hoping that if it kind of builds enough steam and if people love it enough, then anything's possible.
We've done Edinburgh, and so for the first Election Man, so we're hoping New York or Election Man 2. Okay. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
So just briefly for our viewers who don't know what Election Man is about, shame on them.
Shame.
Could you give us a quick synopsis, no spoilers?
Okay, cool. So basically it's about two guys, Jazz and Wolf, who own a comic shop, and they're severely in debt, a particular comic shop, to their landlord, and they need to find some money fast. They find a very rare and valuable comic that's just randomly turned up in their comic shop, and they try and return it to its rightful owner, but some fiendish people are also after it for their own ends, so they're trying to return it to the rightful owner without getting caught by the bad guys.
What he said.
And you, which one are you?
I'm Jazz. I'm one of the guys who owns the comic shop.
I'm the girlfriend of the other guy, Wolf, who runs the comic shop.
Okay, cool. Right, one final question before we go. If you could choose between any two superpowers, the choice is flight or invisibility, which would it be?
I'm flying, yeah.
Oh yeah, flight, definitely.
What's the first thing you do with your new superpower?
I would basically fly onto the top of the Empire State Building and just tell everyone how awesome I was.
I just have a little wander around in the sky, see what was going on, have a good time.
Do you think you'd fight crime?
Eventually, but I need to do a lot of flying first.
Priorities.
So make sure I'm good at it. I don't spat into a building.
All right, well, fair enough. Thank you very much for your time. Excellent.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks.
And hello, I'm David Monteith of Geek Syndicate, reporting for Liberation Frequency and Geek Syndicate. Fancy that. Here at Kapow 2012, and I'm sitting here at the Kill Shakespeare stall with, what's his name? Conor McCreary.
Yes.
One half of the writing duo of Kill Shakespeare. How you doing?
I'm really well. This is great. This is our first trip here to London, and it's been a hell of a show.
I've talked to you over the weekend, and you sounded like you had a pretty busy time.
We did. It's been really fun. It's been a really great audience. It's been cool. We weren't sure how the actual, the motherland of Shakespeare, how they would take our homage to the bard. Would we be, lifted on their shoulders and carried through Trafalgar Square? Or would we be taken to the Tower of London where the ravens would peck at our eyes?
Although, to be fair, the Trafalgar Square thing hasn't quite happened either. But tell us.
Look, are you trying to help us promote the book? You're trying to kill us. Come on.
This great book here. Tell us, what is the concept? Kill Shakespeare.
All right. So if Lord of the Rings and Shakespeare in Love had a drunken one-night stand, this would be their illegitimate child. It's an action-adventure story that takes all the bard's greatest heroes, most menacing villains, puts them in the same world, and pits them against each other in a quest to either save or kill a mysterious wizard by the name of, wait for it, William Shakespeare. There you go. So yeah, it's not a retelling of any of the bard's plays. It's a Lord of the Rings style world where Juliet meets Hamlet, Lady Macbeth is in bed literally or figuratively with Richard III.
So any character from any play can turn up at any time?
Any character, exactly. And speaking of people turning up at any time, we have co-creator Anthony Delcall here.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
So how did
Hello.
So I'm just being shot at by Black Widow. Happens all the time. So how did you two conceive of this? Where did the idea come from?
Pure insanity. We were both in the psychiatric ward one day, and
This doesn't surprise me at all.
No, Connor and I were almost 9 years ago, we were sitting around brainstorming ideas for video games, and the title Kill Bill came up, the Quentin Tarantino films. We thought, wow, that would make a great video game, but I'm sure someone's already done it. And then we just somehow we morphed from David Carradine to Bill Shakespeare, and we Kill Bill Shakespeare and all of his characters on this revenge hunt for the creator. And then we thought, wow, that might actually be the best idea we've ever come up with, or ever will come up with.
To be fair, that's a low bar we're hurdling.
Yeah, that's true. No, and so yeah, I mean, we then sat down over the next few months and wrote a 20-page treatment of what the story was, because we immediately after coming up with this Kill Bill Shakespeare type of concept, we thought, wow, this would be great. It would be a video game, but it could also be a film. It could be novels or comic books, graphic novels, merchandise, all that kind of stuff.
Why did you go with comics?
Well, I mean, it was funny because Connor actually worked at the Silver Snail in Toronto, which was the top comic book store. Well, is the top comic book store. Sorry, Big Island.
Let's not bury the Silver Snail here, friend.
Let's not talk about the Big Island.
Don't make me leave a snail trail on you.
So
it's a Canadian thing.
Exactly.
Don't worry. It's not as dirty as it sounds. Not as dirty.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. So Connor had worked there about 7 years ago or so, and he started to put comic titles in my hands. Like up until then, I always thought comics were just superheroes, and it just for some reason they just didn't interest me. And then he started to give me Walking Dead and Fables and The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and those types. It's like, wow, there's some really good stories in this.
Good work, sir.
Even blankets. I gave him blankets. A little solitary tear trailed down his cheek.
Sometimes when we touch, the honesty's too much, and I have to close my eyes and cry.
Feeling a touch uncomfortable here.
No.
Your knowledge of Shakespeare, how thorough is it, or was that something you had to familiarize?
No. Please don't ask us any questions.
I mean, Anthony and I both had kind of the traditional experience that a lot of our readers have, which is we studied the plays in school. We were both fortunate, though, that we had good teachers who took us to actually see Shakespeare. And for us, once we saw the Bard live on stage, that's when it came open, that's when it came alive. And so neither of us are, we don't have MLits, we're not, doctoral candidates for Shakespearean thesis. We just were people who saw the plays.
Theses, actually.
Well, is it both? Multiple?
It's theses, not
Thesi?
Thesi. It's Thesi.
You guys are adorable.
We try. But yeah, so we just wanted to bring to light the fact that how amazing these characters are, and that Shakespeare really was a mass entertainer. And it's weird. People see Shakespeare as some sort of elitist type of education or entertainment, and people see, comic books as, the bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
And so it's kind of fun to bring these two together to see the Shakespeare people have a new appreciation for the graphic novels and what they do. And our comics fans end up coming back to us saying, you know what? I've read a play for the first time since, when I was 16 or 17, and I really enjoyed it. Thanks. I wouldn't have done it without this book.
So if you know nothing about Shakespeare, will that impair your enjoyment of your comic?
Not at all. No, we've designed it. I mean, the whole point was to get, in addition to being a great piece of Shakespeare fan fiction, to get the Shakespeare fans excited about it, we just want to entertain and enlighten people that know nothing about Shakespeare. To get to cast shed a new light on his characters and his situations. So no, I mean, we've written it so that you don't need to know anything about Shakespeare. It's modern day language. See, that's the big thing is what makes Shakespeare difficult for a lot of people to grasp is the language, because when Shakespeare wrote it, the language is beautiful and poetic, but it's 400 years old. So we write in modern day language with some Shakespeare references or quotes. And I mean, we boil and distill Shakespeare down to its essence. So it's the characters, it's the action adventure, the drama, the love, the lust, the double crossing, the cross-dressing. It's cross-dressing. Of course, it's Shakespeare. A lot of cross-dressing in it. So no, we boil it down so everyone and anyone can get into it.
So very quickly, it seems to be going quite well. Future plans?
Oh yeah, well actually future and concurrent plans. So we've put on a stage play back home in Toronto. We're from Canada.
A boot.
We're from Canada, eh?
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
Hockey.
Peacekeeping. So we've got a stage play going on that's shown in Toronto. It's going to be shown in Montreal, Halifax, New York, Dubai. We've been approached by Los Angeles to do a film or a TV show based on the series. So we've been funded and we're working on another draft of a screenplay. We've got a mobile game we're developing. What we'd really like to do is build this like a Lord of the Rings or a Harry Potter or a Star Wars, create a universe where Shakespeare's characters can have new life. And so eventually the ideal would be, it wouldn't just be us creating stories, other creators in other mediums would be coming in and saying, hey, you know what? I've always loved King Lear. I love your story. Here's my idea of how King Lear fits into this alt-Shakespeare world. That would be cool. That would be really amazing. And we'd love if everybody out there who's read a play would end up being able to dig a little deeper into Shakespeare and, have fun and geek out on Shakespeare. Because Shakespeare geeks only get to geek out at the theater. It's tougher to geek. We want people to be able to geek out here, dress up as Othello.
Cool. I've got a website.
KillShakespeare.com.
Check it out. There's been some controversy from the literary sector. You'll find out what it was, and you'll find out their response to it on the website. I've forgotten your names. Connor, Anthony. Thank you very much for your time. Kill Shakespeare.
John Locke,
Speaking.
Afterlife Inc.
Afterlife Inc, yes, my baby.
It looks fantastic. Tell our readers who haven't already read the remarkable review on our website a little bit about Afterlife Inc.
I'd love to. Turning around slightly for the benefit of those watching, Afterlife Inc is the tale of Jack Fortune, con artist supreme, who upon his untimely and somewhat brutal demise finds an afterlife in chaos. He then proceeds to take over and run it like a business, hence Afterlife Incorporated, a company you can believe in. Which, in addition to all the difficulties of starting up a company, Jack also has to deal with the mysteries at the heart of their world. Also, standard opposition. There are people who aren't happy with how he's running the company. And then you throw in rampaging archangels, misplaced gods, sentient computer programs ending up in the afterlife, and Sherlock Holmes, which was always a little stamp of credibility we like to throw in.
And is it full of corporate intrigue? Takeover bids, mergers, mass firings?
I think it's like Jack's idea of modernisation. I mean, the afterlife has been the way it is probably forever, eternity, and now he's suddenly bringing sweeping change in, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. And, there are people who disagree with how he does things, and, pretty soon they're going to learn to start playing him at his own game. I mean, yes, he's brought in capitalism, the concept of a free market, but, it's only a matter of time before people stop trying to physically blow him up and say, well, hang on, we can buy shares, we can start taking an active route, an active part in how the company is run. So he could have very, very well signed his own demise, really.
Not really his own death warrant?
No, sadly. Not sadly. A second death eludes them, at least, being in the afterlife. So we had to be a bit more creative with where a threat will come from. No one can die, at least.
And how are you finding the convention today?
It's been exceptional. It really has. I mean, I was here as a punter last year. This is my first time at Kapow behind a table. It's been great. They seem to have ironed out a lot of things from last year. It was a good flow of people. Having the artist alleyway up on balcony has been amazing, and we just had an absolute overwhelmingly positive response. The nice part is also obviously shifting a few copies, but getting to talk to people. And we've had people coming back on the Sunday saying, we picked up a book, read it last night at the hotel, absolutely love it, and they came by just to say thank you, which has been lovely. I'm having the time of my life.
Okay, so how many volumes of Afterlife do we have?
Left over or shifted?
No, just
volumes, no. We've only got one volume so far, which is the collected output of 2011 on the website. We put a chapter up every month. Having completed our first series, it's now seen print. We're going to be debuting Volume 2, Near Life and Other Stories, at Thought Bubble in November this year up in Leeds. And we already have plans for the third volume, which will begin life probably towards the end of 2012 on the website. Probably going to run for the better part of a year. And then later in 2013, that too will see print.
So we can go to the website and read it?
Definitely, yes. There's always a new story going up every month.
And it's free?
It can be read for free.
Or you can, much better to buy it in print.
Definitely. We're on our second print run. Stu from UK Comics, his remarkable new company, they're responsible for making it look just so good. I couldn't be happier with the quality, and I hope to be doing this for a lot longer. It's been overwhelming.
Okay. All right, John, thank you very much. I think we're running out of shows, so I've got to go.
No, it's an absolute joy.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so that was Kapow. There's more features on the website. Check out Breaking the Force, www.liberationfrequency.co.uk. Of course, listen to the podcast. There'll be stuff on there. And we'll see you at the next con. Bye.